minus 16 degrees, and as you can know, these watches are influenced by the warmth of your body, so probably minus 18 or minus 20. It's so cold. Brought my tea with me this time, I didn't forget. I also brought my crampons with me. It's icy on the road and I don't want to risk anything.
Tonight there's no way back. The whole town is all about summer, and we have enough wine to last us until morning light. Yes, it might be true, I'm a little bit out of my mind. Let it sweep us off our feet without a fight. You know the sun can wait. I know this is borrowed time.
Every landscape photographer has a favorite subject or a favorite place where he or she feels the most at home and produces the best photos. As many of you know, my favorite place and my favorite subject is represented by forest. In foggy situation, in spring, in autumn, it doesn't matter. Forest is my favorite subject for landscape photography. And today I'm facing a special situation. It's forest in winter. It's not fluffy snow as you can see around me, although I'm hiking a lot higher and I'm hoping the forest will change. But at the moment it's just winter, it's cold, and this is the main problem right now. The cold and the ice that it's on the trail. Going up, I have a goal, and my goal is to find a tree, a special tree. Once I'm up there in the forest, my goal will change and I have other shots in mind. But until I reach the top of the mountain where is the forest that I want to photograph, I'm searching for a particular tree, a tree that looks different, that it's impressive, that kind of stands out. Something like, let's say, the tree of the forest, the father of the forest, the special one in the forest.
The world from the place beneath the willow, the willow. So many years, too many tears on your pillow, on your pillow.
So there are minus 17 degrees Celsius, even though the sky is clear and the sun is shining. The drone did okay at minus 17. The Mavic did okay. The only problem I had was with the movement of the gimbal. Like this movement was limited. I couldn't get the camera straight down. It had some weird jiggles, but no problem. There's something I want to tell you, because some messages that I receive. To be a full-time landscape photographer, it's not enough knowing your gear, having cameras, lenses, backpacks, and tripods, and so on. To be a full-time landscape photographer means that you have no problem carrying a backpack and hiking alone in the forest, in the mountains, and oftentimes hiking in darkness. If you have problems with this type of actions and activities, I think it's pretty impossible to be a full-time landscape photographer. If you want to do this as a hobby and go out with friends and enjoy nature just when you are with friends, then you can do that perfectly. And this is also landscape photography. Your photos may be better than mine, which I'm a full-time landscape photographer. So it's not a matter of having good photos if you're a full-time landscape photographer and bad photos if you're not. This is not completely true. But if you want to do this as a full-time thing, if you want to earn money from this, you have to be comfortable of doing this. So right now we're going into this forest over here. In the end we'll reach the top over there, but for the moment we're searching for that tree. So whew. inside the forest right now. There are only fir trees around me, which means that the chances of finding a really special tree are pretty slim. Fir trees are not that strange. They don't grow in strange shapes that are only up. So it's a challenge right now, but I got help from the sun, and usually you don't get help from the sun in a situation like this during middle of the day, no clouds, high contrast and so on. But if I manage to find shadow and the light coming down on one pine tree and have some snow, then I can create an interesting image, an interesting photo. In the meantime, I changed position and I'm concentrating on this fir tree over here. So as you can see, there's a little bit of light on it and there is shadow to its left and to its right. So this might be something interesting. This is not the end of my search. By the look of the trees, as I'm going up, the snow becomes a little thicker and the trees are a little bit more covered with snow. So there are more chances to find interesting trees, or at least trees in an interesting light that are also covered by snow, so there should be interesting. But if this is not happening, I still have this pine tree over here. It's a simple photo. It's not something spectacular, not something that you go, wow, what a sunset, what beautiful light, what. But it's a photo that speaks about the moment, a tree and the light and the snow and the solitude of the forest. So something to think about. I think I found my tree, and you know what's the funny irony? This tree, it's a dead tree and it's here from last year. I remember I photographed it before, but now covered in snow, it's so beautiful. And the light, it's like Christmas. It's like the Christmas morning. So I'm pack the gear again and try to find a composition for this tree. So it's time for a tea break and to discuss a little bit the photo that I did. Now in terms of settings, you already saw them on the screen, but the reason for using such a closed aperture is because I was so close to the tree and I wanted to keep everything in focus, of course. Now, as you can see, there's a slight diagonal in the way I compose the tree, and the reason for that is just to use the entire frame. If you create a single vertical or horizontal, it's not that interesting. It basically splits the frame in two, but in this situation it kind of takes you throughout the entire frame. Also, I made sure that I've included some of the trees because even though this is the main focus, this is the reason for which I took the photo, the journey goes on, and even though this tree has fallen, there are other trees out there. I realized I forgot my glasses, and this is a beginner mistake, but I guess this is what happens if you leave home at 6 a.m. when it's still dark. So I'm staying like this. Well, at minus 16, this hot tea is like, I don't know. You tell me what it's like. Honey, lemon. I can feel the warmth of the tea on my face. So after this, I'll just hike until I reach the top of the forest where I see the trees so nice, covered in frost and snow. I think it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be awesome.